Hello, I'm Colleen Holder and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're coming to you from Fort Bennett, a place that takes its name from the English mercenary Lieutenant Robert Bennett. This fort is located in Blackrock and was built by the Dutch to protect the Great Colon Bay area. But almost 2 centuries later, it fell into the hands of the British, and these signature cannons remain to today. But we'll show you more of this historic site as our program continues. First, let's look at our stories this week. TEMA to get a permanent space for its warehouse. Another option to get your voice heard by the THA. Now the Scarlet Ibis comes to Tobago once again.
It's happening in the east, on the hill, on the waterfront, on the beach. It takes on the world. It's got pizzazz. It's a fiesta, and it's truly an amazing island experience. It's food, fashion, and it's fabulous. The Tobago Jazz Experience, April 20th to April 28th. Much more than music.
You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for staying with us. They'll finally get a place to call their own. But we're not talking our traditional family here. It's a warehouse for the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA. The US government has committed to funding the construction of a new storage facility which will give the agency additional space to store more supplies for this island. Umadar Mills reports.
TEMA is recognized regionally for its strategic and effective methods of disaster management, but the agency has had challenges with one vital part of its operations: storage. The United States government saw the need for permanent storage facilities and has decided to step in and fund the construction of a warehouse.
We are comfortable that it will not only lend to just additional space, but also it allow for some level of flexibility whereby, based on our emergency operation nature, we'll be able to store more on behalf of Tobago and also have easy access to resources when an emergency occurs.
Signal Hill is the proposed site for the new facility. The design will provide storage for items which are needed in times of disasters and emergencies.
These supplies can comprise of MREs, meals ready to eat, lighting equipment, water, spade, shovels, pickaxe, all the necessary things that you may think that may be necessary and imperative in response to emergency situation.
TEMA has been renting storage space for the emergency supplies at the Tobago Cold Storage and Warehouse Facility for approximately 10 years. But this arrangement limited the agency's ability to access resources in a timely manner. The new warehouse will solve this problem, but the land on which it will be built will also house TEMA's headquarters. The construction of these facilities will allow the agency to better manage their resources in times of disaster. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The cockrico is to Tobago as the Scarlet Ibis is to Trinidad, or so we thought. This indigenous bird from our sister isle has been sighted here in Tobago, something that hasn't happened in over 18 years. The bird was last seen in the mangrove area of No Man's Land with 3 others. But will they stay permanently there, or for that matter anywhere in Tobago? Davia Chambers has some answers.
No, your eyes are not playing games with you. You're seeing quite clearly a Scarlet Ibis in Tobago. It was easy to spot this red flamingo in Tobago plantations as it's not found on the island.
Coming into work this morning at 8 a.m., I noticed the red bird on the tree behind me here. And I knew it was a Scarlet Ibis, so I called the Department of Natural Resources and they came and confirmed that it was a Scarlet Ibis.
But the birds won't be here for long, even though they may nest here. Wildlife biologist Angela Ramsey explains.
Normally what happens that they would come down during the winter season, from like about October to March, and they would nest, they would roost and so on, but it would not stay because they are not indigenous to Tobago. So they were basically just coming to be able to find a different habitat for the period of time to enjoy the kind of climate that we have, the warm climate and so on, and to be able to get food.
She says that while they're here though, they can attract many bird watchers.
We have a lot of birders coming in, and they are privileged to see these species that we have here in the comfort and the safety of our island. So it's really a good advantage in terms of improving the tourism sector here in Tobago.
So what challenges will the birds face?
Just like any other wildlife, they have the challenges of like larger predators and so on, but remember, it's survival is for the fittest. So once they're able to overcome, they survive and then they move on.
During the winter period, birds migrate to Tobago from as far as England and Venezuela. But this time, they came from right across in our sister isle, Trinidad. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
First they came up with the community meetings, and now they've designed yet another avenue to get your voices heard. This newest initiative caters for almost everyone. Those comfortable with a face-to-face meeting, the people who prefer to chat on the phone, and of course the Tobagonian who would really prefer to shoot off an email to the Tobago House of Assembly. What are we talking about? Omar Mills has the details.
Tobagonians have been getting more opportunities to speak out on the things which are affecting them. The THA has introduced the Public Interest Desk. This means even if you can't make it to one of these community meetings, you still have other options to share your opinion. The desk is set up so you can make contact via phone at any one of these 3 numbers. For those who are technologically savvy, you can participate by sending an email to publicinterestdesk@tha.gov.tt. Alan Cardinal believes that it is his right to voice his opinion, and he appreciates the opportunity provided by the THA to do so.
I find citizens should be able to voice their opinion, so I find it something very well doing.
But the Public Interest Desk has more to offer. Tobagonians can have their say on the issue of the governance of this island by going to the public day. This aspect of the process allows persons to visit the first floor of the Unit Trust building every Tuesday from 8 o'clock to have their voices heard.
Like myself, there are a lot of older people who want to have a say in what's going on, simply because of the kind of experiences that we have had. We have seen the world change so much, and we believe that we still have a contribution to make.
Well, sure, and I have plenty to go and tell them about and ask them about. So I'm going to start from when Tuesday coming.
The Public Interest Desk will be managed by the Office of the Chief Secretary. The measure is seen by the THA as a way of guaranteeing wide consultation in Tobago. The idea encompasses a promise made by the Chief Secretary following the results of the January 2013 elections, which saw no formal opposition elected to the Assembly. I'm Omar Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking a break, but stay with us. Coming up, how Tobago is taking care of its elderly.
Dwayne Lyons, name of our business is Exclusive Ideologies Limited. I started this business along with my wife Candice in 2005. We tried to expand and offer as much service, as many services. The overall process wasn't too hectic. Well, the grant helped us first upgrade the systems. The next one was to get a air conditioning unit. You really need to go out and get yourself knowledgeable about what is up there, because they really have a lot of opportunities out there.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
This is Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for joining us here at Fort Bennett. Now, archaeologists suggest that beneath the surface of this fort are remnant walls from its constant reconstruction. And while those walls remain hidden, this oven is clearly visible. Something to think about as we go to our next story. You might have heard that famous adage that the test of a people is how it behaves towards the elderly. The philosopher who said it contended that it's easy to love children, but that affection and care for the aged, the incurable and the helpless are the true gold mines of a culture. This is perhaps why the Tobago Regional Health Authority, the TRHA, is pushing to change the way senior citizens are taken care of here in Tobago. They've begun work that will ensure ours is a society that protects the elderly. Davia Chambers explains.
According to the picture painted by the TRHA, there's a global crisis when it comes to the implementation of programs for this section of our population. The authority's acting CEO says Tobago has not been spared this reality, but he's promising the island is taking steps to correct the problem, starting with this opening of the new geriatric unit at the former Scarborough Regional Hospital.
The refurbishment provides for a friendly, loving, and caring environment, which is part of what makes our long-term care facility a comfortable home for our residents.
Mr. Solomon says personalized quality care will be given to the elderly, but that TRHA will also provide an environment that allows for the training of persons who can do the same.
This home will now become a hub for intergenerational activities through special programming, teaching our young people how to care for the elderly and those that may be less fortunate.
And as the authority puts in place programs that care for the physical well-being of this island's senior citizens, it's also ensuring that this new home provides an experience that's comfortable and lifts the standard of living for its occupants.
Outdoor gardens and relaxation areas. There's a 24-hour security service in a gated community, 24-hour nursing care. We've also included physicians' services, wound care, medication management, physical and occupational therapy.
Tobago has one of the highest life expectancy rates in the region, but it's Monaco that's ranked the country with the highest life expectancy in the world, and that's partly because of its excellent public health care facilities. Today, it's hoped this new home with higher standards is the first step to getting Tobago on the Monaco route. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Last month, they excelled in Trinidad, bringing home the top prize at the National Secondary Schools Track and Field Championship. Weeks later, Tobagonian athletes shined again, this time in the Bahamas. Let's join Sophie Guillaume to hear their story.
A ceremony to publicly say well done to these athletes who participated in the Carifta Games. They are part of the reason the national team won 8 gold medals, 4 of which were earned by Tobagonians. An effort that allowed this country to finish third on the medal table.
Trinidad and Tobago is a twin island republic, and therefore this is one occasion where we are not walking behind anybody, but we are walking side by side. And I would like us to take this opportunity to seek to always achieve so that we will not be seen as though we are look at Tobago, but that we are really partners in this republic.
Team member Andwele Wright, who was able to retain the boys under 17 long jump crown with a personal best of 7.29 meters, says he's grateful to all those who contributed to the team's success.
We just want to thank all of you who have supported us, and we wishing that you continue supporting us in the future so that we can keep doing well and excel in our sporting discipline.
But he and other team members says competing in Bahamas wasn't easy.
The weather was very cold. The weather and the different type of tractor we have been competing on in Trinidad, that's the only two difficulties we had.
I wasn't really accustomed to the environment up there. It was very cold. And I was kind of scared because my first time going out to carve that team.
Chelsea James, who also held on to the girls' under-17 shot put title, says she used her past experience to help her focus on the task at hand.
There weren't really any challenges because I adjusted to the weather and the surface of the shot put circle. Bermuda was worse than there.
Their spirit and determination have made many proud.
He's a very committed young man and he don't like to lose. So when he go into something, you have to become really, really good to beat him.
9 Tobagonians were part of the national team that won a total 20 medals, 8 gold, 2 silver and 10 bronze. I'm Sophie Guillaume for Let's Talk Tobago.
They could have easily chosen Le Cordon Bleu, the world-renowned educational institution famous for the highest level of culinary and hospitality education. But they decided to come here to receive their academic training from the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. Let's hear why.
In Nigeria, we have, most people know Tobago to be a tourist destination. And so much we heard about the cultural heritage, about the beautiful scenery. And we didn't think there's any other place better than Tobago to get a tourism training.
An endorsement for the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. More than a century ago, this relationship might have been unimaginable. Or for parents journeying to Tobago from Nigeria via the Middle Passage during the slave trade. In 2013, Nigerians are still coming to Tobago, but this time under very different circumstances.
Having gained the knowledge and from the best place, one of the best places in the world, as tourist destination, we should be able to replicate what we study here, and that's one of the benefits we are expecting.
But these 50 Nigerian students will gain more than tourism training.
The students are here, they are bringing their culture, they are bringing resources. They have been paid some stipend that is going to be spent in the island. I think financially the island will benefit.
The marketing manager at THTI, Kieran McDougall, says this significant international intake is the largest in any semester. He believes it's a signal that educational tourism is on the rise on the island.
We now have 50 Nigerian students in our midst. They are here for a period of 1 year, and what could happen as a result of this arrangement, we can see possibilities where parents and siblings of these students from time to time may want to come to visit these students and to see how they are settling in and so on. And this can only augur well for our industry.
And here's what the students had to say about their new home, at least for the next academic year.
I want to be successful as I've come here so that I will go back home to impact it in the life of the others.
Go back there to develop our own place in hospitality on how to deal with human.
Once successful, in April of 2014, the students will be diploma graduates of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Institute. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take another break, but stay with us to find out how music is being used to mentor our island's youth.
Sit Tobago, ready to provide your community with the highest degree of professional services in emergency response. Contact SIT Mariah at 660-0065 or SIT Speyside at 660-6096. SIT 24-hour services, emergencies, medical or other. SIT Pro, the new face of emergency management.
Welcome back. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. We're at Fort Bennett at Black Rock, and the gazebo you're seeing behind me can be found at the end of a short winding path and offers not only shelter from the elements, but a panoramic and picturesque view of Black Rock, neighboring Plymouth and the Caribbean Sea. The Dutch and the English certainly knew what they were fighting for. But let's put that history to rest, for now at least, to give you a taste of a festival that's perhaps the little sister of the Tobago jazz experience. Omadara Mills tells us more.
The soothing sounds of instrumentals mixed with sultry voices. But the show didn't belong to the pros only. The youth of Tobago are showing they are well on their way to making it into the international jazz arena. Matrix, A band consisting of teenagers 13 to 19 years old includes students from Scarborough Secondary School and Bishop's High. Another local band which showed that jazz music is flourishing on the island is Master's Mind. They delighted the crowd with their own take on Love of You and Long Walk.
Let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Find a spot for us to spark a conversation, verbal elation, stimulation. Share our situations, temptations, hesitations, relaxation, elevations. Maybe we could talk about Revelations 3:17.
Patrons also enjoyed jazz renditions from the mother country of jazz itself, the United States. And according to the acting public affairs officer at the U.S. Embassy, jazz is now an international art form that specializes in improvisation, so you'll never hear the same song quite the same way twice. Perhaps good advice for young Tobago artists, some of whom are hoping to distinguish themselves and market this island's unique sound.
Love is you. Love is you. Love is you. Love is you.
I'm Umudara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Staying with music, we're joining Sophie Guillaume to hear how a Charlottesville community band plans to use music to change lives.
This initiative stands directly in line with what we are for, and as a department we stand for youth development. And as such, whether it be development in sport, development in culture, development in whatever area, and of course this evening more specifically looking at youth development.
The Department of Youth Affairs lending its support to the Country Boys Foundation. The band was established as a youth development in music initiative and mentorship program. The organization is headed by Franz Job, an artist best known for his song Tobago, a piece which boasts of the island's beauty. He was born in London but grew up in the scenic village of Charlottesville, and it's there he got his start playing guitar at the age of 13. Today, he and his group hope to use their music to send a message of social consciousness.
We need the support of everyone in this room and everyone in this village and the nation as a whole to help us in our endeavor to make the Country Boys Foundation a noteworthy organization.
Youth Officer in the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, Lyndon Wilson, is urging the youth to see the bigger picture.
The encouragement is that you do just see the band and the foundation as just playing in Charlottesville or playing in jazz or see it international, and I hope France and your experience will really bring that and create that kind of opportunity for the young people here.
The Country Boys Foundation Music Band will be based in Tobago but will tour the international circuit soon. I'm Sophie Guillaume for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now, earlier we told you about Jazz on the Greens, but it's not the only musical festival you can enjoy in Tobago. If gospel is your thing, here's a taste of what you missed.
Sunfest 2013, a local gospel concert which showcases the musical talents of various artists and groups.
I want to make it up in heaven. I want to make it up in heaven. Hallelujah Square. I want to be there when they bring in the saints of the air.
Christian worship can be done in many different styles, and one group, the Redeemed Christian Choir, chose to do theirs using 2 languages. Although the event is hosted by the People's Pentecostal Church, other Christian groups also performed. Reverend Dr. Glenroy Frank says that the event should be on Tobago's calendar of events since the spiritual lives of people is an important part of culture.
That it must be listed as one of the accepted and recognized expression from the gospel section of our community.
Sunfest is now 30 years old, and according to Reverend Dr. Glenroy Frank, the event has helped in enhancing the spiritual lives of Tobagonians over the years.
Mighty is our God, He is the ruler of everything.
I'm Umudara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. As most of you are aware, the January 2013 elections saw one party winning all 12 seats, resulting in the elimination of any formal opposition in the Assembly. But the Chief Secretary wants a more inclusive form of governance. So the THA has devised a number of ways to give Tobagonians a say in the way the island is run. One of the initiatives is known as the Public Interest Desk. So today we're asking how you feel about the setting up of this desk. This is what you said.
Even better yet, the first time I'm hearing about it, but that is very good. As you're saying, same thing, more information to the people. So as far as that is a very good initiative, much more beneficial to the people of Tobago, as I say, much more easier to get the information on to people.
I find so people could go up and, voice their opinion, sharing their views, what likes and dislikes, whatever. So I feel it's a good idea.
It is a good thing, as I say again, but one that they'll at least hope when you bring a problem, work towards it as soon as possible and help solve the problem.
I think it's an extremely good idea. In fact, we need to have now more than ever interaction between the public and those who govern us.
I think it's long overdue. They need to set up some sort of system or institution where the people themselves could have a greater input into the daily run-ins and the policies of the Assembly.
And that's how we leave you on this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Remember, you can send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Remember to like us on Facebook and add us to your YouTube playlist. I'm Colleen Holder, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, here's a final look at Fort Bennett.